everyone, it's Shell from Scrap Secrets and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is part of the Team Tiny March 2023 hop and I'm going to create 2 cards. The theme for this month was inspired by another creator and I picked the Frolicking Fairy and I found this background that she created using a stencil to emboss, and I thought it was a great technique and I wanted to try it out because I had gotten these products from Copics at Hobby Lobby and it is a emboss and transfer set, and I never used it, so I thought let's go ahead and try it. So I'm taking a piece of 110-pound cardstock with a stencil, taping it down, and then I'm going to try to figure out the sandwich to put it into the embossing folder. So I used the normal thick plate, the thinner plate, and then put the paper and the stencil down, and then the mat, and then the transfer piece over top of it. Well, that did not work. It lightly embossed it, but it was not anywhere near the results that I wanted. So what I realized is I accidentally did this. I flipped the paper upside down and put the mat over top of it. You don't need that plate, the one that says Copics on there. That was actually too thick to go through. But when I did that and took that Copics plate out, it really, really worked well. So I just didn't realize that I had the paper turned over. You need to have the mat underneath the paper rather than on top of it. So as you see here, that sandwich, that's the one that worked. So I put the heavy plate down, the clear plate, the embossing mat that has hair all over it, and then the paper and the stencil, and then that white plate. And then I think I didn't put another plate on top of it, it's just the white plate. So I did 2 backgrounds because the first one had embossed a teeny tiny bit at first, and then I went over it so it looked like it shifted a little bit, but when I started coloring it in, it worked fine. So we are going to be picking a couple different colors of Copic markers and just going around and coloring in I guess it's the embossed areas, the one that's raised, not the debossed. So I'm just picking a couple colors of orange, going around and outlining it, and then I'm going to take some darker Copic markers and go ahead and color it in. It was kind of all trial and error, so you're just going to see me color here. And I'm going to explain to you why I chose the colors that I did, because neither one of these color palettes are something that I normally choose. So for this first one, the story goes back a little while. Maybe a couple of months ago, I joined a Facebook group called From the Heart, and it is a group of people who send cards to people. They're mostly senior citizens. Some people are younger than that. There are some people in their 50s and 60s in there, and I don't know whether it's just me getting older and I'm defining senior citizen as like late 70s, 80s, and things like that. The older that I get, it seems that the definition of what a senior citizen is, it keeps getting older and older, just kind of like as you get older, the definition of what's considered old gets older and older. So I joined that a little while ago, and then after Fred passed, I kind of felt like I needed to do something for other people. I just kind of felt like I had been given so much energy to him, and I just needed to do something and put something back out there good into the world. So I went on and I looked for some people that I had that, just kind of stood out to me. There was no rhyme or reason for why I pick the people that I did. Picked this one man who I messaged the woman who asked for cards for him and asked, say, what are his favorite things, colors, hobbies, things like that. He likes the Broncos, he likes roses, and he likes the color orange. I think there was like one other thing in there. And I thought, okay, well, this is perfect. I can kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone, which that's not really a nice saying about animals, but you know what I mean. Get a card done for him as well as for this hop, inspired by the Frolicking Fairies Instagram. It just kind of all fell together. So he loves, like I said, orange and roses. So I thought this stencil would be perfect. And let's pick a couple colors of orange to go ahead and color the flowers in. So that's why I'm picking this color palette. And I'll talk about the other color palette when I get to it. So if you saw my Instagram, I've been creating for a couple of other people. I sent 5 cards out the first time. I actually just sent 2 the other day. My goal is to do, I think I did said 3 a month, and then I hadn't done anything in January. I started in February, so February and March. I really wanted to do at least 3 a month and send cards out because I make so many, but I very rarely feel like I send them out anymore. So you can see there, I held it up, and you can see the big difference it makes between the ones that have not been colored and the ones that have been colored. And I wasn't really sure how this was going to go as I was going along coloring it. At this point, I was like, I don't know. But I went ahead and did the whole entire thing. I did not leave all of the coloring in. I left a coloring in of some of the leaves, and then just that one rose. I will tell you, this took a very, very long time to do. But again, I actually was down in my craft room for a little while, was feeling a little bit better, had a little bit of, I don't know, like felt like I was maybe getting back to myself a little bit, like back to, being okay again, I guess. And so I decided that I would just put a couple shows on and I would just color. So didn't really have any true plan for it other than it being mostly orange, or being all orange roses. Wanted different shades of orange roses and then different shades of the leaves. Once I finished coloring in all of that, I'm going to show you, for the magic of the camera, it's all done. Added glue to the back of the piece. I had cut it down to 3 3/4 by 5 inches. Did a piece of black cardstock that's 1/4 of an inch larger than that, and then glued that down to a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch white card base. And that is going to be the card for the man From the Heart. The second thing I did was I took that other background, put the stencil back over top of it, and wanted to see what would happen when I inked through it. So I'm taking a couple colors of Distress Oxide. I'm using Squeeze Lemonade, Mustard Seed, and then we'll use some peeled paint for the green of the leaves. So the reason that I chose this color palette was because this thank you card is for my brother and sister-in-law and Nora and Mila. They got me this really pretty plaque for Fred to go in front of the box and to go in front of like I have a little thing set up in front of my TV for him. So the plaque was on that. And I got these beautiful yellow roses from Chewy. So Chewy, the pet company, were absolutely amazing. I do have to say they were phenomenal. I got an email reminder to order something for Fred, and I just emailed them back and said, please take me off the list. It's too painful to see right now. It was literally like 2 days after he passed away. So they reached out to me. The guy was so sweet. And then a couple days later, I got a dozen yellow roses. And I thought, well, since I got yellow roses for Fred and they got me this really nice thing, I had to do yellow roses on this. So I decided to just try out this technique. I've never tried this out before, embossing it and then using some Distress Oxides to go over top of it. So I was just going over, blending the colors together. Didn't really know if I loved it, wasn't really sure. Grabbed another of my brushes, and I believe it was Evergreen Bow, this one that I'm using, and just added a little bit more green in there because that was a yellow green, and I think I needed a little bit more of a green to stand out. So I'm just adding it in a little bit of the areas. And again, neither one of these cards are my normal color palette, so I was like, I don't know. I wasn't really sure. At this point, I was like, don't know if I love it. So then I went ahead and I pulled out some supplies from Concord and Ninth, All About the Birthday, and then All About You stamps and die sets. And then I'm also going to be using orange soda from, I believe that was from Hero Arts. I stamped that solid color Happy Birthday square out, cut it out, and then cut a piece of black cardstock to be 1/8 of an inch larger on each side of black cardstock. And then I also cut out the thank you die from the All About You die set. I'm using my Honeybee Bee Creative glue to just add a little bit of glue to the back of that, and then I'm going to glue the U down to that other piece, the second background that I created. I cut out a little heart too for the middle of the U. This does cut out the center pieces as well, but I wanted it to be the outline because I wanted you to really be able to see that background. for it not being something that I normally do, I actually really, really love it. There was one thing that I wish I would have done, which was back that in black, like I did the happy birthday card on the left-hand side. But I do like it together. That cardstock, the card base is actually from the Hero Arts kit from March that I just got, and I thought it matched absolutely perfectly. The last thing that I'm going to do to finish this card is I'm going to add the Lawn Fawn sparkle glue to the heart. If you guys are enjoying this video, I hope that you will hop along with everybody else in the hop. I can't wait to see what everyone has made. To see everyone's videos, you're going to click on the hashtag in the title of the video, and everybody's videos will come up. There should be about 10 people participating in this. For the birthday card, I am going to go ahead and pop up that sentiment and place it down onto the front of the card. And those are my 2 cards for today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them down below and I will get back to you. I will see you guys real soon for another video. Bye!